I welcome Josephine Ruwimbo Kanengoni from Zimbabwe, who is representing the University of Iowa. Welcome.
During my lifetime, I have dedicated my life to the struggle of the African people. I have fought against white domination, and I have fought against black domination. I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunity. It is an ideal for which I hope to live for and to see realized. But my Lord, if it needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die. Nelson Mandela, at the conclusion of his 3-hour speech during the Rivonia trial of 1964. At the end of this trial, he was sentenced to life in prison and went on to serve 27 of those years before being released and elected president of South Africa. Leadership through fearless conviction and selfless service. That is the legacy of Utata Madiba. Father to not just South Africa, or even just Africa, but father to the world. Nelson Mandela sacrificed his own freedom to protect the freedoms of many. He served fearlessly for such a time as this. For 700 brilliant young leaders from across Africa to dream without limitations and to imagine possibilities without barriers on how to move their communities and Africa forward. I look around this room today and I see his dream in living color. I see game changers and innovators in technology, education, agriculture, activism, empowerment. I know the remarkable stories of so many of us. A young leader from Malawi who is determined to better the lives of youth in her country through agribusiness. A young dental surgeon from Nigeria who has made it his mission to afford dental care to the masses. A young visionary from Senegal who's putting food on the table for thousands of school children who wouldn't otherwise have any. A brave young woman from Sudan who's shattering boxes by creating safe spaces for the women in her country to let their hair down and have some fun. I know of my own story. A young woman from Zimbabwe who dreamed of telling the stories of the Zimbabwean woman and introducing the world to her power, beauty, and magic. I know of so many other stories that I could share, but what I know for sure is, whatever our individual stories may be, the magic of Nelson Mandela, in some way, ties all our stories together. And as we remember and celebrate this great man, it is our responsibility to consistently challenge ourselves to preserve his legacy, so that we can pass it on to the generation of young leaders that are coming after us. It is imperative that in whatever we set our hearts to pursuing, we are driven, like he was, by a desire to inspire and to make a difference, and to know that through our work, the lives of others are made better. A fellow young leader recently shared this extract from the book Good to Great by James Collins. For in the end, it is impossible to have a great life unless it is a meaningful life. And it is very difficult to have a meaningful life unless you do meaningful work. Perhaps then, you may gain the rare tranquility that comes from knowing that you played a part in contributing to something that made a difference. Indeed, you may even gain the deepest of satisfactions knowing that your time here on this earth made a difference and that it mattered. Now, I have no doubt as to the brilliance of the ideas, dreams, and visions of every single person in this room today. But I want to leave each one of us with this. What is your legacy going to be? What difference are you making in the lives of others? Who are you inspiring through your leadership? How far are you willing to go to serve them? And perhaps the most important, when it is all said and done, will you, like Utata Madiba, die knowing beyond a shadow of a doubt that your short time here on this earth has been well spent and that it truly, truly mattered? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Josephine. She has put forward a challenge and challenging each one of us that we continuously do that to serve our communities. That's a challenge to everyone. Have your own pledge.